Hi, my name is Miss Melissa. I am a teaching artist in the PACE program at the Acadiana Center for the Arts with the Lafayette Parish School Systems in Lafayette, Louisiana. Today, I'm going to show you how to make Louisiana irises. As you can see behind me, I have some examples of irises, and the video is going to be in three parts. The first part, I'm going to show you how to actually draw the stem and leaves of an iris. Then we're going to print the petals, and then you can color the background the way you want. So I'm going to show you what you need for your supplies, and then we'll get started. Okay, so for your supplies today, this is what you're going to need. You're going to need any color, let me show you, any color sheet of construction paper. It could be recycled paper, anything that you have. You could even use newspaper or coupon paper, whatever you have, but I like to use colored paper. Whatever you do use, make sure you have two sheets, and it's just the same size as copy paper. So for example, if you have aqua blue, you're going to need two aqua blue sheets of paper. Okay, so make sure you get two sheets of the same color, preferably construction paper. And if you don't have colored paper, if you just have white copy paper, that's fine too. So, but I have two sheets, so make sure you get two of whatever color you want. Okay, next, you're gonna need crayons, just regular crayons, and colored pencils. Now, I'm gonna use both. I'm gonna use the colored pencils for the flower and the crayons for the background. If you don't have colored pencils and you just have colors, that's fine. You could use colors for the whole thing. You could use colored pencils for the whole thing. If you have both, get out both. If not, get one. All right, so I have two sheets of paper, crayons, colored pencils, one or the other, or both. And then you're also gonna need a pair of scissors, any kind of tape to tape the two papers together. And that is it. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to get your paper together so we can start making your Louisiana iris. So first thing you want to do is tape them together. Okay, tape the two sheets together. Now I have on the back, if you could see on the wall, I have a long sheet of paper. You probably don't have paper longer than this, so I'm just going to show you how to make long paper, because we want a long paper because the irises it's a very tall plant. So let's just go ahead and tape. I'm doing it right here, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to just tear a little piece, put the two papers together as close as I can. Like, I'm going to just show you part of it. So you see I started putting tape. So I'm going to put tape all along here until it's, excuse me, until it's closed up. So let's do that together. Get your tape, tear. Now you could have any kind of tape, masking tape, painter's tape, anything. But we're just going to go ahead and tape our paper together, little by little, okay? So tearing and I'm pressing, just keeping it together. See, so far? And you're not going to be able to tell once it's done because it's going to be colored. So okay, I need one more. Now, anytime during this video, if you feel like you need to take a break or you need any kind of assistance or anything, you could always pause the video, okay? And I'll be right here when you come back. Okay, so I went ahead and taped the two together. So if you turn it over, you don't really see it, okay? So what we're gonna do after you tape it, I'm gonna want you to fold it in half the long way, like a hot dog. So let's go ahead and do that. fold it in half. You want to make sure the edges touch. Do you see? So now that it's long, do you see? It's the same thing. So we're just going to cut it. We're going to cut it right in half. So let's do that together. That's where you need your scissors. So we're done with the tape. And you're just going to cut. Now, remember, we want to keep it long like a hot dog. You're going to cut half of this off. We don't need it. You can save it for later. So I'm going to cut the long way. So I have one tall, thin sheet of paper. Now I'm using blue paper. You may have chosen purple, pink, white, red. You can choose whatever color you want. I'm choosing a turquoise. And that's what we want. You want the tape on the back. We're going to color and draw on the front without the tape. So you see, once you have your paper ready and you put tape on it, folded it in half like a hot dog and cut the other half off, we are ready to start. Just make sure the tape goes on the back. Very good. Good job. Okay, so before we start drawing and printing and coloring your Louisiana iris, I was wondering if you know what an iris is. Well, an iris is a type of flower, and they're native to Louisiana, and it's actually the state wildflower of the state of Louisiana. And I actually live in Louisiana, so and they're all different colors. I have some pieces of paper on the wall to show you the different colors. You can see white irises, red, blue, yellow, and purple. These are common colors. Now here's some examples behind me. Here's an example of a blue iris, white, and red. And, you know, and you can see, this is pretty much, it's going to be close to what you're going to be doing today. And you can see the long stems and leaves, and you get to create your own background. So, but let me show you. Here's a, now this is not a real plant. It's a fake flower, but it's very similar to a real iris. If you could see, look how, you know, I told you that we were going to have our paper nice and tall because the actual plant itself is tall. And look at the stem. Does it have a very thick stem or a thin? Very good. It's a thin stem. Same thing with the leaves. They're very tall and somewhat thin. They're not really wide. Okay? Now look at the petals, how neat. I'm going to show you a trick on how to make these petals. And there's typically 3 large petals. Okay? So I wanted to show you this. Now, I do have something else to show you. I have a picture. This picture here, this is a paint. Both of these are copies. They're prints. But it's a print of a painting of an artist. This artist's name is Vincent Van Gogh. He's a famous artist. And he left the world with beautiful paintings. And here is one of them. He painted a picture called Irises. And if you could see, he painted lots and lots and lots of blue irises with that one sticking out. Look at the long and thin leaves. Same thing with the stems. Isn't that nice? So this is a beautiful, very famous painting. So I wanted to show you that. Now he also painted another picture of irises and he put them in a vase. So if you look up Vincent Van Gogh, you can see his beautiful artwork. So now that I showed you what irises look like, and you know today you have a choice of colors, let's go ahead and I'm going to show you how to draw the stem, leaves, and we're going to make the petal. Okay, so what I want you to do, we're going to find 2 points on our paper so we can make our stem. You're going to actually make 2 stems. We're going to have 2 irises, a tall one and a short one, okay? So if you have both, if you were able to find crayons and colored pencils, I'd like you to use your colored pencils so you can take, you know, any shade of green for your stem. So if you have your colored pencils, use any shade of green. You can have a dark green. Look, here's a dark green. or a light green. If you just had crayons, then just choose a green, okay? You can draw with that. I'm gonna use a black marker so you can see it. So from the top to the bottom, we need to find the halfway mark. I would say about there, looks like halfway, okay? I'm gonna guess. I'm just gonna move it over a little bit and make a little dot. Can you see that? So I went halfway and I moved it over. That's gonna be our shorter iris growing out the ground. Okay, now from halfway to the top of the paper, so from here to here, I want you to find the halfway mark from there. So that looks about halfway from where we just marked our paper to the top. Now move that over a little bit, and that's gonna be the top of our next flower. So that's it. Okay? So we just measured where our stem's gonna go. All right, so let's go ahead and draw our stem together. If you notice up here, I have a curvy line. So I'm just gonna draw a curvy line going all the way down. You can go this way or that way, however you want. So now I'm gonna draw this one going down, going a different direction. And I'm gonna make one more next to it. Now, nice and thin. Remember, the stem of an iris is very thin. So I'm gonna draw one more curvy line and go all the way down. They don't have to be perfect. Flowers are not perfect. They're curvy lines. All right, so we are finished with making the stem. Now I'm gonna show you how to make the petals. It's a little trick. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you how to make the petals of an iris, which is the colorful part, and I zoomed in so you can see. We're actually gonna print them with our hand. So let me show you. If you look at just one petal, it makes like a curve, right? And it kind of hangs down. Same thing here. It curves and hangs down. And the top, you know, has a slight curve. So we're gonna make it with our hand. So what I'm gonna want you to do is make like a curve, like if this is your hand, curve it like a letter C, and we're actually gonna trace your hand and make all of the petals that way. So I'll show you. And we're gonna do it for both flowers, okay? So I'm gonna take my hand and put my fingertips touching the dot. Okay, now watch. I'm gonna, now is the time where you can actually decide what color do you want your iris to be. Do you want to have a white one, a red one, or a blue, a yellow, or a purple? So whatever color iris you decide, go ahead and get that colored pencil. So if you want a white iris, get a white colored pencil. And if you don't have colored pencils, use a crayon. Okay? So now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to stand up, okay? And I'm going to put my hand on top. My fingertip is touching the top. And I'm going to trace it. Trace the side of my hand. There's one petal. Now I'm going to trace this side. I have to use my left hand. It's going to be kind of awkward, but I'm just going to keep it steady and take my marker and trace the side of my hand. Oh wow, look at that, came out actually pretty good. Do you see that? And they don't have to be perfect because flowers aren't perfect. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. You know, keep your hand curved, and if you want it longer, you can have a long curve, shorter. You can, and just make sure it fits inside of your paper and your fingertips are touching the dot. You're tracing the side of your hand, which means the marker is touching the edge of it. All right, so my left hand goes this way, and I used my right hand to make the bottom part and the top. So now I'm going to squeeze this in. And it could just kind of go behind the stem there. I'm going to put this one right on top. And the petals might overlap or touch. My fingertips are touching the dot. And there we have it. So I have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 3 petals for each flower. And I made that by curving my hands, okay? Right hand and left hand. The top really could be either one. Right hand and left hand. The top, again, could be either one. And your fingertips had to touch the top of the stem, and all you had to do was trace it. So I hope you were able to do that with whatever color you wanted. If you had colored pencils, you can use that. Now I'm going to show you how to make the leaves. Very good. Good job. Pretty neat, huh? Okay, so the leaves were nice and tall and thin. So I'm just going to put my marker down here and then just curve. Again, we're using a curvy line. Just like that. Now, since you're going to color this green, you could use your green colored pencil. Okay? And if you don't have colored pencils, you could use a green crayon. I have room, so I'm going to make this nice and big and curvy here. And I'm going to put one. I'm putting 2 leaves on each side. And there we have it. So I have 1 leaf here and here. And then I have, for this side of my iris, I have a leaf going here and here. So we've made all the important parts, the stem and the leaves and the actual petals of a flower. So I'm going to show you how to color these next. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and actually color the iris. So I just want to use white. You can use purple, yellow, blue, or red. I'm choosing white. I don't know why. I'm just in the mood to color it white. So go ahead and take your colored pencils or your crayons if you have both. Again, please use a colored pencil. It just really, oops, it really shows up. And let's just start coloring our petals. And again, if I go too fast, you can always press pause to catch up, okay? So I'm pressing pretty hard, you know, because I want it to stand out. All right. Now, if you want to, you can make one petal white and the other blue, or one white and one yellow. I'm going to color them the same color. That's just my choice. You can be creative. You know, Vincent Van Gogh made blue ones and a white one, so it's up to you. Now, if you notice, while I'm coloring this, if you look inside of the irises, there's a little bit of yellow that comes out from the center. So we could add a little yellow when we're done. And if you chose yellow, it's okay. You don't have to add it. Okay? That looks really good. I'm going to go ahead and switch. I'm going to get another white colored pencil because it's starting to get used up. Now, the only difference between your picture and mine is that mine's going to be outlined in black. I chose a black marker so you could actually see it. But like, you know, the ones on the wall, for example, don't have any black outlines. So you can see that. So remember, You know, you do want it to look realistic, meaning realistic means it looks real. You know, you're going to choose a color that an iris could be. All right, so once you're done with the actual flower petals itself, then you can start on your stem. Now, if you notice, obviously the stems are green, but there is a little bit of yellow, different shades of green, a little bit of yellow. So I'm gonna use a dark, a light, and a yellow to color my stem and leaves. I might just kind of, yeah, mix it up. So you can definitely mix it up. And I'm pressing pretty hard because I do want it to stand out. But you don't have to. You can press soft. It's up to you. It's whatever you like. Okay. So I added a little bit of yellow in my leaves. And if you notice, I'm actually coloring in the direction in the direction of the stem and leaves. So if my stem and leaves are going up, that's how I'm going to color up. Well, that's looking really nice. Okay, so now I'm going to color this stem. And I'm choosing a darker green. You know, just to have a little bit of variety. Maybe one could be dark and one could be light. I'm going to get another green because I'm using that one up. Okay, there we go. You see, and I like the fact that I colored this one darker than this one because it looks, they're touching and it looks like two different plants. So that's good. I'm able to see it easier is what I'm trying to say. Okay, and I'm going to add some yellow in this one too, in the leaf. Just a little bit of yellow. Okay, so then once I'm finished with my stem and leaves on one side, I'm going to go ahead and color the other. Oops, this one broke. I'll get another one. I need another yellow. There we go. So yes, I'm adding yellow in both of my leaves, just because if you look at a leaf up close, you will see it. And you even see the yellow in his paintings. Okay, just gonna go back over some areas. So just continue coloring your both stems of the plant and then both leaves on each plant until it's all finished. I think I'm happy with that. I really like it. And then once you're finished with your stem and leaves, you could even take a little bit of yellow and just from the point, the dot that we made, you're just going to color a little yellow, like 1, 2, 3 in each, just right at the tip of the flower. Just a little bit of yellow here. Do the same thing here. Because if you look at if you ever get the chance to look at a real iris, the yellow is just right in the center. All right, I'm happy with that. All right, so go ahead and finish. Coloring your stem and leaves. And when you're finished, I'm going to show you how to color your background with crayons. It's going to leave a nice effect. So I think you're doing a great job, and just finish this up and then I'll show you how to color your background. Good job. Okay, so now I'm ready to color my background. I'm just gonna basically show you how to mix a bunch of different colors, and I am definitely in the mood. I'm looking at this and I would like to use some purples and a magenta maybe, and some blues, and I might add a little black. So basically what you're gonna do is take your crayons and you're gonna just color softly, and put color wherever you would like. We're not gonna press too hard because we want the paper underneath to show through. So I'll just show you a little bit. I'm pressing very softly so the blue paper still kind of shines through. Now, if you want your whole paper maybe to be orange and you can just color the whole thing orange lightly, that's fine. But we're gonna kind of create just a very colorful background. How is that coming out? So you see that? And I can mix. I can add a little purple maybe. Okay? So what I want you to do is just have fun and maybe take a handful, like 5 different colors. And if I want to make a shadow, this is where you can add black. And I'm going to press really softly. You can make a shadow by just adding a little bit of black to darken it. And you can also mix colors. So you're basically creating an abstract background, which is the opposite of a realistic background. We're just making it very colorful, mixing colors, but not pressing hard, because remember, we want that colored paper to shine through. So in this area, I have pink, purple, and black. I think I might add a little bit of, let's see, a little bit of red or light pink. I'm just gonna play around with color. Just remember to press lightly. Let's see what happens if I don't know if you can see this, if I add a little orange. I could try adding some here. Can you see that? I could see it better on my paper. It looks a lot more orange than it does on the screen. But we're definitely gonna just be coloring lightly with your crayons and mixing colors for fun. Yeah, that looks neat. Very good. I hope you're having fun doing this. I'm having fun. I'm really liking how it's coming out. Now I'm gonna take my pink, what's like a magenta, and just kind of go over the orange a little bit. And you know, maybe you decided that you wanted to color yellow or red and orange maybe, or even green. Maybe you wanted to add green. It just depends on what you're in the mood for. I'm in the mood for purples and pinks and blues with a little orange. This is coming out super neat. Gonna add a little bit more. And if you want to have maybe some darker areas and lighter areas, then you can just press very soft if you want dark. And then if you want, you can press soft if you want lighter, and then you can press a little harder if you want darker. So like here, and if you mix colors, watch, I'll show you. Whenever you mix colors, that makes it darker as well. So if I put a blue on top of the black, that's 2 layers of color. That will make it a little darker. But remember, you want to press pretty lightly so we can still see our paper shine through. See, I'm mixing 2 shades of blue here. I have some orange and pink and purple. So far, so good. I'm very happy with that. Let's see. I think I'm gonna add maybe a little bit of orange over here. So I have a little orange, a little orange, a little orange. I'm just gonna, if I put orange here, I'm gonna maybe put it in a few other spots. So if you put, you know, red here, maybe put red in a few other spots. That's called balance. A lot of artists like to balance out their pictures with colors. Yep, and if I want to, I can make a little shadow by adding a little bit of black. Super, super, super soft. Very light. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of orange in here. With a little bit of that pink. I'm having fun mixing my colors, and I'm really liking how this is coming out. And so, and it's really neat because you get to choose what, you know, how you want to mix your colors. And it's just, you know, a handful. I think I'm going to put a little bit of, here I had that turquoise blue, so now I think I'm going to add some here to help balance it out. Yeah, you see, here is a little bit of the blue, and it matches the blue here. I think I might blend, which is mix a little bit of pink into it. And again, we should be coloring soft. All right, now here I used some purple. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of purple. How does that look? Pretty good. I think I'm going to go lighter on top. So purple is a pretty dark color. So I might go back to my pink and press even softer. Now the whole time I'm coloring this page, I am pressing soft. I'm never pressing hard, not even medium. But remember, if you mix, usually it gets a little darker. And I think I might add, so I went from purple to magenta, now to orange. And magenta is just like a dark, a pinkish purple. I'm gonna put orange on top. So, and if I'm going too fast, you could always pause the video. The goal is to lightly color your whole background. I'm looking at it to see if I want to add another color somewhere. I want to add the turquoise somewhere, a little bit up here. I don't know, I just do. Feels like it needs to go there. Yep. Oh, I really like it. It looks really good. So, and if you were able, if you had crayons and colored pencils, you could see there's a little bit of difference, right? There's a little bit of difference. And if you were only able to use one, that's fine. It's still going to be very close to this. So I really like how that colored paper shines through. So I am finished. And again, if you're not, you can pause and catch up. But just remember, you want to have your irises, the petals of the iris, you know, the actual real color. Your stem should be green, and you know, I mixed. And then your background, that's where you can be really creative and you know, mix the colors that you wanted. So I'm going to show you up close. You can see how the blue paper is shining through. Very good job today. I hope you had fun making your Louisiana iris. So thank you for joining me today. I, along with the other PACE artists from the Acadiana Center for the Arts, will be posting a new lesson every day. at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time for kindergarten, first, and second grades. Each grade is tied into the academic curriculum. Some lessons will be in visual arts and some lessons will be in dance, also known as creative movement. Be sure and come back and make art with us tomorrow. If you are interested in supporting programs like this, you can donate to the Acadiana Center for the Arts, which is a nonprofit organization who manages this PACE program, using this link in the description box below. Please help to keep our teaching artists working and share our videos and keep making art. If you are interested in booking a private art lesson with me, my email is in the description box below. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you again.